Hello, everyone. Pretty much, hoping I got night review. Pretty much today. Pretty much, actually, I have a few matches for you for my remaining days. My season first time. Sadly, pretty much, we're in nothing too interesting lately. I said I might as well pop in a few. At least I consider at least okayish when I was going through over my replay lists. Pretty much just get straight into it with my deck. Luckily, every time I starts down to the fest, I always play my Link deck. This is my Xyz deck for Star Dragons. There's nothing much different. The only difference is I'm replacing a bunch of stuff. I also crafted 2 new cards. The stuff I added was Max C's, mostly so I can at least have some draw power, some cross, as well as some ashes. Nothing else that's different entirely, outside the fact that I'm just playing more than I standard usually played. The only difference is I'm laying limited rule. And I'm running my Cyber Dragon package alongside Zeus. Outside that, I decided to add heavy armored Iron Right, mostly so I can target machine controls and tag directly in this turn, so I can potentially go for an OTK right with limited removal and Nova if I actually had resource support to go into both turn 1, mind you, and have a Dree and Veer in hand. Next up, I also got King of Heavy, which is mostly my secondary level 5 target if I actually run out of Cyber Dragon Nova at that point. There wasn't really much I can craft that was worth it entirely to justify that I was going over the list lately. That weren't machine lock with Dree, mind you, so most of my plays were locked. Which machine I can target attach one to send top 2 cards upon decks, then any of the cards with summon destroy cards opponent's equal number of monsters sent, so it's a good filter to get rid of all of them. There were some other cards potentially though, but there wasn't nothing that can completely help me that fast. I felt like limited rule was better investment long term, since I needed a few underhand for most of my more my machine decks for O2K, mind you, and I figured I might as well go for investment. Even if I don't use them, it'll be future proofing most of my machine decks in the future. Pretty much one of mostly standard was pretty much chasing the normally a CS Bus deck. I'm facing it 2 so far, which was interesting. And I figured, there's nothing else I can also use from French. I remember this card pulling out a bunch back in the day, lol, including some of these from the special things. Outside that, I feel like going over it since you can always just look out the whole deck a little bit. I'll pick on the images here and there, personally, but there's nothing else that isn't already known. I feel like with number of stealth crack gave me most prevalent, like I said, all the stealth krakens. That's not really worth it. Go over the whole deck twice. So let's get straight into the map. Overall, my hand was alright. The fact is, I can go Galaxy into Dree and sadly by my mic. By touching it, I didn't mean to. I am thinking about that, and honestly, the fact is, I didn't get much to work with entirely. I only did it so I get that in hand, get Cyber Dragon, add 1 card in hand, go into this, go into that. Here's ask me Cyber Dragon, go into Nova. I was hoping my opponent could do that since I still had entirely another way to go into Nova here. Social and Cyber. Go into Infinity. Infinity allows me to draw power of it. Now limit rule, so everything can go for O2K. Alright, the investment paid off, as you can tell. A limit rule. Literally having an opening hand to go to O2K as long as I get the cards. Out revived it. Sadly, the next match was also another Solar Seas Lorne deck, so there's nothing else different entirely. That's actually worth mentioning. Man, I found it funny, at least I got rid of Siege Revenge and then had all the outs entirely open in hand. I just needed 1 Galaxy to go into there. Go to anything else, I figured I might as well go Kaiji at first, but I was like, not worth it. I'll just make it not worth it, so I might as well just play the stalling game and make them think I don't have another copy in my hand. Overall, my hand was already good in a sense. I was good going first hand, but on Rust at least I went first since I have Veer and Cyber Dragon Tree. Go into Nova, go into Infinity, set 2, and pass. If I call right. Yep. So I have 2 ways, negate and activation, and Get rid of cards at least suspected for all I know. One day I have it out, I was like, yeah, what's going on here? Then I go Cyber Dragon Mercy. Add a Chester hand. Go into Cyber Dragon beatdown. Getting a Chester put in the deck. Since it's mostly gonna make me lose life points, might as well. Twin Chesters now is just a brick card in hand. Honestly, I was like, what the heck? How bricky can the hand be? Then Core showed up. Core let me get Submerged the hand. Submerged into Hertz. And permanent resource. Basically, I started drawing it down. I was like, what the heck's my point in dealing? Like, they can't break that hard with that deck, I thought. In mind. Nothing is said either. I was just thinking with just the bottomless at this point. Next up, we're playing against a Chemicritter with a Blue Eyes Edition, essentially, with max C's, no ashes. Pretty much the card decks are monsters that are Geminis, first off, and they discard one card, the target one Gemini, special summon them. That's what most of them do, is send their Gemini monsters in a deck to add either Gemini or special summon them from the grave. Pretty much there's nothing exceptional about them besides the fact they can mostly make Link 2s easily if they want to. With a couple of Kaijus, a couple of Jets, a couple of Polys. What's mostly just a Gemini deck with just some easy cards that aren't entirely just bricks, mind you, but pretty bad ones, with mostly being Oxy Oz being the better one, with a couple else being outside neurons are compulsory. Dimension Wall. Burnout. Which allows them to pretty much use the Gemini's next only one waking a dragon so they can get out the most powerful card, Ultimate Falcon. Now let's get straight into the match. Overall, most of the C's were just numeron, so I didn't feel like it was worth going over. The Zeus makes sense, everything else was like whatever. At that point. Opening hand, I had Core, and I got Lunar Rule. Already, I had okay hand going first. Next side mercy. Getting that Chester hand. That one just passed. I should have hers now thinking about it, but I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But besides this, I decided I might as well get rid of Cyber Repair Plant. Making a dragon happen, I was like, oh damn, I'm effed. Activate Shooting Deep Cushion. That's what's not Veer. Veer goes into Nova. Nova beats it. Main phase 2. Sees into Infinity and Zorb 4. So now pretty much I don't know we're at anything else. But I decided to give up here. Since they had no true outs turn 1 already, as we can tell, so turn 2 they have anything else to work with. Making a dragon was essentially the best bet, so they can actually get monsters up on the field. And that's it for my C-Stress time remaining when that happened.